All right. Hopefully this is coming across. Gloria got up to check.
Yeah, it's going. I see it over there.
All right, good deal. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in, and sorry for the delay. As always, there seem to be a few technical challenges, but glad to have you here today. I'm Elaine Tomrell, along with Gloria Vinson, and we're going to be talking Thrive Skin today. A good amount of questions have been asked in the post that we posted yesterday, and let me just say, if you have any questions while this is going on, go into the comments and post the question, and we'll try to address it today. If we don't get to it, we'll answer it in the comments a little bit later on today. And Gloria, I will tell you one thing. I don't know about you, but this has been an incredible launch to our second flagship product line, the Thrive Skin. The Thrive experience for our body. I call it our body and our skin lines. And the Thrive experience is for our body, helps with energy, focus, mental clarity, just general overall getting good premium nutrition into our body. And as many of us know, that has been a billion-dollar launch on its own over the last 6 years. Thrive Skin now has been out for what? Are we at 2 weeks?
Just over 2 weeks.
Just over 2 weeks. And many of us are just chuckling and surprised. We never expected this to be this type of a product. And yet, I should say, not surprised at the quality, but surprised at the results that are happening so quickly. And we know now that this is going to be a billion-dollar brand all by itself. So a lot of questions, whenever you launch something new, there are always going to be some questions. And so Gloria is going to be addressing all 3 steps, but she's going to kind of break it down according to the questions that we've gotten for each step. So keep in mind, this is a 3-step system, skincare system. And I would venture to say, Gloria, even a luxury skincare system.
Absolutely.
Right?
No doubt about it.
And I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't you just go ahead, and I'll kind of pay attention to any other questions that may pop up, and we can go back and forth on some things, but you can get it kicked off.
Okay. Thank you, Elaine. Well, I have to say, at 61 years of age, I feel very blessed, to have the skin that I have. And a lot of that has been because of what I have done prior to now. I've taken a lot of great nutrition through the years. I have, stayed out of the sun. I drink a lot of water. And, so I came to the table, so to speak, with this new skincare line with, I think, probably better than average skin for a 61, almost 62-year-old woman. But I have to say, in the 2.5 weeks that I've been using it, I'm seeing differences. And I have used all types of skincare products through the years. I've spent as much as $400 for 3 steps similar to this, and never have I seen the results that I'm getting with this product. So, in a lot of areas, from just, my skin feeling so clean and so light and so refreshed, through the whole duration of the day, which is not something I've experienced before with any other products. But I want to just kind of talk about each product and answer a few questions. And first, I want to say, when Jason Camper, our CEO, announced this product at our national event and talked about each product, he really, our owner is one that never overpromises. I mean, he always, he states the facts. And we're always so impressed. We're beyond impressed most of the time, or all the time, with the results, because they're always much greater than we anticipated. And that's been the case with Thrive Skin. We never, and he made it very clear from the stage that just wait for 30 to 60 days. You will see results now, but in 30 to 60 days, you're going to be blown away. And so we came, out of the gates, and once people started receiving their product, I mean, we started seeing all these amazing photos, and, people were getting much greater instant results in what we anticipated. So yes, we got really excited and we started this room. We wanted people to see what's happening. And, you know, as with anything, results are going to vary. Some people are going to get immediate results. Some people, it is going to take longer. And I will say, having been in the nutrition industry as long as I have, I mean, a lot of that really has to do with the level of damage to your skin. I mean, if you're somebody who has a lot of sun damage, has a lot of deep wrinkles, has, you know, very dry, dehydrated skin, maybe you haven't been on a good nutrition regimen and you're dehydrated inside. There's a lot of variables, but I will say, Elaine, I can't imagine anybody using this system and not seeing some type of result after the first application. And what I mean by that is, I mean, I was so impressed with just how my skin felt, and then how my makeup went on, and then what my face looked like at the end of the day compared to what it used to look like. So, you know, one of the reasons why we want to go through each one of these steps is that I really believe that you can get some kind of degree of results from this product right away. And it's only going to get better the longer you use it. And again, this is a product line, a skincare line that was over a year in development. There have been things done with this product line that have never been done in the skincare industry. I mean, CBD has never been combined with the type of formulation that has been put together here, especially with the enzymes. No one's ever done it. Lavelle had to do their own research. There's a lot of biohacking is the word that we're hearing a lot that has been done in this product formulation. And what that means is that, you know, they have twisted and turned and done things with this formula and with these ingredients that have never been done before. They tested it on hundreds of different skin types with no irritation or adverse effects. So they did their homework. They spent a lot of time. You know, we heard them talking about this over a year ago at our previous event in April of 2018. So this is not something they just threw together and threw out there. That's not the way our company operates. I mean, they really go, I mean, they are, when they put a product together, they're going to put a product together that is going to be, you know, the best that you can possibly put together with premium grade ingredients. And premium grade is the highest level of ingredients that you can use. And then when you factor in, you know, the delivery, I mean, there are certain components I'm going to talk about in a minute that have to do with the delivery of how this delivers into the skin. And there's certain processes that happen here that you've probably never experienced with any other skincare products. So first I want to start with the first step, which is our product called Peel. And I'm going to open it up and hopefully you can see. It's like a clear gel. And, you know, some people have asked, you know, well, how much of this do I put on? Well, I'll show you that here in just a minute. But what I want to tell you about this peel is this is a very specialized enzyme formula that when you apply it to the skin, it's literally going to eat and digest the dead skin off of your face. And if you don't think you have dead skin, I mean, I have literally over these weeks that I've been using it, there have been a few times I have forgotten to put this on and I've taken my shower, I've used a gentle cleanser to clean my face, and I get out thinking I'm squeaky clean, and I put this peel on and I get dead skin coming off of my face. So this is just amazing, this enzyme formula. How it literally digests and eats that dead skin off. And if you don't get the dead skin off of your face, step 2 and 3 is not going to absorb, and it's not going to do what it's designed to do. And Elaine, I've had a few people say to me, well, I had one particular, and I'm glad I experienced this because now I know what to tell everyone on this live, is that I had one friend of mine that used it, and she said, Gloria, I just don't think this is working for me. Like it is for everybody else. And so I knew the first step was the most important. So I asked her, I said, well, tell me how you're putting the peel on and tell me what you're feeling. And she says, well, when she puts it on, you know, when she starts to rub, you know, it starts kind of drying out really fast, and she doesn't really feel like anything is happening. And I said, wait a minute, you're not putting enough on. Because when you put this on, I mean, it says about a pea size or a small size, but really I think it's about 2 pea sizes. I have this little scooper, and I use, I don't know if you can see that, but I mean, I don't even know if that would be what you would say, 1/4 of a teaspoon, but I use enough that when I put it on my face, I mean, it's literally, I mean, when I take my 2 hands and I, you know, mix it together, I mean, literally when I'm rubbing it on my face, it's gliding over my face. I'm getting a thin film all over my face. And this is the product you don't want to get in your eyes. So you just stay above the bone here and above the bone here. But as you're rubbing this in I would say in about 45 to 60 seconds, you're going to feel almost like sand is accumulating under your fingertips, because it's literally starting to break down that dead skin, and it's balling up as you're rubbing in circular motion. So if you're not putting enough on,
yeah, let's talk about this for a second, because I think this is really key to everything. If you put too much or you put too little, you're not going to get what needs to happen. And when they're rubbing it in, they should notice that the consistency actually changes. And that's when things start working. So if it's too little, it's drying out too quickly. But if it's too much, you'll end up rubbing forever and nothing happens either. So they do have to play with it a little bit to find their amount.
Yeah, it should just be like a very thin coat, but you should be able to, you know, move your hands pretty well for a good 30 seconds before you start to feel it, you know, kind of drying and maybe getting a little bit harder to rub. And you should start to feel in about 30 to 45 seconds that skin, that little sand feeling accumulating, you know, under your fingertips. And so,
and let me say, what the first time I did it, nothing came off. The second time, the third, as I got more comfortable with it. Now, what I have noticed is there are some days that more comes off than others, you know, and which really, it's kind of like anything else. The more that we're out in the environment, the more that we're, you know, doing certain things that might put that stuff on our skin. You know, you may have days that more come off than other days too. So in the beginning, how long do you suggest, like in those first, on the bottle, it says 3 to 5 days a week for the peel. In the beginning, do you think we should go a little bit longer, maybe 6 days a week for the first few weeks?
I think so, because especially, you know, especially if you have a lot of damage to the skin, you haven't used a good skincare regimen for ever, you know, or maybe not ever before, it's not going to hurt anything. I mean, I think for the most part, people want to get results, you know, quicker rather than slower. So it seems to me that if you use it in the beginning, at least 5 to 6 days out of the week, then you're going to give steps 2 and 3 a better chance to get in there and do their job, because that's where the correcting and the repairing and the restoring starts to take place. Because step 1 is getting everything prepped for step 2 and 3. So I do think if you use it more than just 3 times a week, you're going to give steps 2 and 3 a better chance to work. So that's right. You know, so that's even more important. And I tell you, I've been using it almost 3 weeks now, and maybe there's times I've used a little more than I'm supposed to use, but I still got a good week or 2 left in here, a good 7 to 10 days. So, I mean, you know, and one of the things that, you know, Peel is going to do is it's really going to help the complexion of the skin. And again, prep it for steps 2 and 3, which is where you're really going to see, you know, the work of those 2 products. But just remember that, and on one of the other questions people have been asking is, on the days I don't use the peel, well, then what do I use on my face? Well, just use a gentle cleanser. You really don't need any other exfoliators, because this is exfoliating your skin. And if you're using it 5 or 6 times out of the week, you don't need another exfoliator. You really don't need anything else if you're going to put steps 2 and 3 on, because of what those products do. they're repairing and correcting and restoring the skin. Some people have asked about toners and elixirs and all this stuff. People are seeing their pores shrinking. They're seeing the correction in their skin. They're seeing the complexions clear up. I mean, they're seeing all of those changes. So personally, I don't think you need anything else but just a gentle cleanser on the days that you're not using the peel. And 2 and 3 are going to do everything else that you need to the skin. You don't need a primer for your makeup. Your makeup is going to go on like silk. People are using less makeup. A lot of people aren't even wearing makeup anymore. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I think it won't be long. I think in about 60 days, it's very possible I won't be wearing foundation or powder on my face anymore. Maybe just a little bit of concealer.
And let me tell you, that's something, you know, because I've been that person that never took care of my skin. I was blessed with good skin. And then as I got older, these last couple of years especially, things have changed. But I still don't like wearing a bunch of stuff on my face. But I've always worn a liquid foundation. And I really felt like after Thrive Skin, I'm like, I just didn't want to put a whole lot on top of that. So my esthetician friend actually suggested that I do a very light powder. And that's what I've been doing. And it's like crazy different. I just can't get over it. And yes, changing the foundation to a powder makes a difference, but I don't think it would look like this without the Thrive Skin.
No,
you know,
your skin looks flawless. I mean,
it's crazy.
I would not have known that if you hadn't have said something, but and I think that that's going to happen with people. They're going to find that they're going to be reducing the amount of things that they put on their face, because as their moisture balances out in their skin and their complexion clears and their skin becomes more hydrated and restored. I mean, it's going to be amazing at the changes that can happen over 30 to 60 days.
Well, and let's continue on that vein for a second too. I would encourage everyone to, I know we're so tempted to want to do what we've always done. You know, you get into a routine, and even after all 3 steps, you know, for some of you, and I can tell based on some of the questions, you may feel like, oh, I need more moisturizer. Get out of your head and trust the process. Give this 30 days of just using Thrive Skin. You know, put a little SPF on if your foundation doesn't have it. But other than that, don't do anything else. And if after 30 days you feel like, gosh, you know what, I still need a little this, or okay, fine. But you will never know what Thrive Skin has the capability of doing if you are adding these other things. And why spend that money if this is going to do all that and even more? And chances are what we're seeing is that Thrive Skin is going to save you money.
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. It's definitely going to. And it's not abrasive. It's not irritating to the skin. So people that have used those types of exfoliators that, you know, have shells in them and things that are very abrasive, this goes on like silk. It's not that type of product at all. And it does not, this line does not have SPF. So if you do go out without any makeup on and you're going to be out in the sun, you do need to have some protection.
For sure.
My foundation has SPF, but if I change to a powder, I'm probably going to have to be conscious of that. Some people have asked, do I put the peel on with makeup or without? You can do it either way, but Jason Camper, our CEO, said it's going to work better without makeup. So, you know, if you've taken a shower and, you know, your face is already without makeup, then apply the peel. If you want to just do a quick brush off of the makeup before you put it on, you know, it will, I believe, work better. It'll digest more of that dead skin quicker if you take that makeup off. I was just looking here to see if there was anything else on the peel that I wanted to bring out.
And I would say, Gloria, make sure that skin is dry. So if you have used a cleanser or you've gotten out of the shower or whatever, do not put the peel on a damp or wet skin. Okay, it's got to be a dry skin. That's important.
Okay.
And even amongst each of the steps, make sure at each, before you put the next step, the first step about before that is dry. So just give it a couple minutes in between your steps.
And one last thing I'll say, some people have said they're using like a pea size of the peel. Well, if you're using a pea size and you don't feel like you're really getting enough, you know, to cover the face, and you're getting enough to feel like it's gliding and feeling, you know, that silky movement around on your face, then use 2 pea sizes.
Right.
Use 2.5 pea sizes if you have to.
Listen, some of us have a bigger face. That's right.
And of course, if you use the neck and the chest, which
That's
a lot
right.
of people are doing, and even the stomach, you're going to, and we've had some people put it on their foot. I mean, we've had people, I mean, we just never imagined that we could use it in many places, even elbows. You know, if you have really dry elbows and you want to get that dead skin off, and
we are all hoping that we can buy it by the bucket soon.
Absolutely.
Okay,
so that's step number 1. And so let's move to step number 2, which is our product called Reduce. This is a correcting serum. And this is going to work on things like sun damage, oxidative stress to the skin. That's really just the aging of the skin that happens over time. Wrinkles. And what you're going to see with this product is, on the immediate side, is you're definitely going to see the complexion clearing. And complexion could be, I guess, anything from, you know, maybe some acne or bumps, or maybe spots, you know, brown spots on the face. You're just going to start to see your face brighten up and just clear up. And that's one of the things we've seen with people. And I think some people have looked at before and after pictures, and I know even with my husband, his skin was very ashy and almost yellowy looking, but now his skin is so pink and bright. His complexion and the brown spots are diminishing. And so you're going to see a change, and you're going to see a difference in the moisture depletion. So like if you have really oily skin and you find yourself, like I used to, feel like I was having to pat my face all throughout the day because my skin would get oily. Well, what was happening is it wasn't moisturized enough. It wasn't being hydrated. It was not being, the moisture was not being restored. So your face, you know, produces more oil when it's dry. So this is going to balance a lot of those problems out. And you're just, and then over time, as you use this, you're going to see the fine lines, the wrinkles, you know, that sun damage, you know, those years of oxidative stress and damage to the skin, the dry skin. Maybe you've been burned on your face, and the skin just never, you've got freckles, you've just got things that have just never come back the way they used to. Over time, you're going to see those clear up, you know, and start to, you know, just the complexion is just going to get brighter and clearer and clearer and clearer. And again, it may take 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I mean, Jason Kemper said, we haven't seen anything yet. Our best before and after pictures are going to be in about 60 days.
Yeah.
And some people have even asked Elaine, well, once you get your face where you want it to be, do I stop or do I just maintain? Well, don't stop unless you want the damage to come back. It's kind of like they used to say, you know,
like,
you don't stop taking a bath every day or washing your hair every day.
What about the gray? You know what? The gray is going to keep coming back if I don't keep going.
Yeah. So if you want your skin to continually receive all these antioxidants, these plant extracts, this CBD, this amazing formula that again is correcting and restoring, you know, your skin, don't stop using it. Maybe you won't use the peel as much, you know, after a few weeks. Maybe you don't use as much of the correcting serum. Now, the peel, we talked about using it 6 days a week. Eventually, maybe you could lower that a little bit to 3 to 4 days a week. With the serum, right now, I'm using it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. I'm doing steps 2 and 3 twice a day. You can actually just do steps 2, which is the reduce, 1 time a day. Mm-hmm. So if you want to do all 3 steps in the morning and then at night, you know, you just do the step 3, then, you know, that's okay as well. You're going to see a lot, like I said, more brightness. You can see luminosity. That's what I'm seeing with Jack right now. It's just his skin is so luminous and his complexion is clearing. And, you know, he's got very deep, he's had crow's feet since his 20s.
Wow.
He just had it. It's just been that way. I mean, I think he just inherited that type of skin. So his, you know, his crow's feet are very deep. But what I'm noticing as he is getting the dead skin off, and the steps 2 and 3 are going in there and restoring and moisturizing and repairing and balancing that skin, they're softening up. They're not as deep as they were. They're not gone away by no means. But I mean, I catch myself kind of staring at him because, you know, they're diminishing. Now, it might take another couple of months for them to really diminish. And I think one of the reasons why we're seeing some of those corrections so fast in some people is because when you get your skin, you know, when you repair and get the balance of moisture and everything, hydration back into the skin's not going to be so tight. It's not going to draw up and wrinkle up. That's why we're seeing this relaxing of
somebody
the skin
said
and the wrinkles smoothing out.
It's like an unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what somebody said, and I thought, you know what, that's a great way to, those deep, especially those deep lines, it's like it's slowly unfolding them. And I think a lot of skin, and especially from the pictures we've seen so far, I mean, it's like the before pictures are like the face was like a desert. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden somebody has watered the desert. I mean, the hydration part is such a big deal. It's incredible.
It is. And of course, you know, the more water you drink, you know, the better your lifestyle, you know, the less you do to your body that's just damaging it on a daily basis, the better it's going to look and the faster it's going to work for you. So that's going to be the variation in a lot of situations. So, you know, steps 2 in the beginning, for me personally, I'm using it twice a day. I may eventually cut back to only using it once a day, but for right now, I love so much the way my skin feels when I put these 3 steps on. It's like, I don't want to stop doing it. And for me, I've noticed the puffiness under the eyes diminishing. You know, as you age, your skin gets very thin. So I don't know that I'll completely ever get rid of the darkness under my eyes, but it has diminished. I don't know what that's from, but you know, I'm still using a little bit of light concealer, but I'm going to take another photo in about 30 days with no makeup on, just like I did in the very beginning. And then I'll be able to tell the real difference. And because I know one of the things that CBD is known to do for the skin is reduce inflammation. So some of the redness, some of the things we see are, you know, inflammation, you know, in the skin. So I know it's helping with that. But moisture depletion is going to be immediate with step 2, and complexion imperfections are going to be immediate. And then other things like fine lines, wrinkles, you know, aging skin, those things are going to take a little while, 30, 60 days, 90 days. But that's not uncommon, you know, when you're just trying to be realistic about something. And as Jason said, the steps, you know, does this replace all these other products, all these other moisturizers and things that you're using? And he said, well, it should. You know, you won't need those other things. Absolutely won't need them. And then the last step is, and the other thing that people have asked about, like step 2 and 3, you know, they're in the little pump bottles. And I don't know, this one's a new bottle. I haven't pumped out of it yet, but let me turn it. I use 2 pumps.
Yeah.
I mean, that usually does what I need it to do. I haven't got this one open yet, but sometimes I use 2.5 if I go a little farther down on my neck. But usually one pump will take care of one side of the face and another pump will take care of this side of the face. And I still have plenty of product. I've been using this over 2 weeks and I still have plenty of product in both bottles.
And let me, Melissa O'Gorman gave me a good little tip about always put it on your top of your hand.
That's what I've been doing. I put it on the top of my hand. Matter of fact, my 2 hands look different.
I know. I did that on purpose too, and then use your ring finger, you know, and gently apply it, and then you rub it all in, and do that for, you know, for the moisturizer as well.
And you know, when I'm putting steps 2 on, and I almost do this with really all 3 products, I usually, well, except for peel, because I don't get up around my eye, but with steps 2 and 3, I start under the eye and work my way down. Go over here, start on this eye, work my way down. Then I do my nose, and then I come up from here and do my forehead.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
so
whatever works for you guys. That's the thing. Everybody's going to be a little different, and so for step 3, Gloria.
For step 3, I mean, this is what we call the AM and PM elixir moisturizer. And the unique thing about this product, Restore, is that, I mean, it is definitely, you're applying a lot of calming antioxidants. And then, I mean, this is true nutrition for the skin. I mean, and the CBD that's infused in there. But the unique thing about step 3 is there's a micro encapsulation technology in this product. And what that means is this is a sequential delivery that is going to, it's almost like a time release. This moisturizing formula that's been encapsulated in this micro encapsulation is going to continue to release into the skin over a 4 or 5 hour period. That's why when people finish these 3 steps in 4 hours, their face is going to look better than it did 10 or 20 or 30 minutes after they applied it. That's why the first day I put it on, my best before and after picture came, or my after picture came 4 hours after I did the process. And I was shocked. I was like, what? This is crazy. But that's why it's that micro encapsulation delivery process that's continuing to release. You know, this formula is continuing to release and break down and work in the skin for hours after you put it on. I mean, that's amazing in and of itself.
I know.
The technology behind this product.
And I remember the first night going to bed with the moisturizer on, and I'm thinking, oh, I just don't know if I feel like I have enough on, because it feels good and it absorbs, pretty quickly into the skin. But I still remember waking up that morning thinking the first thing, you do is touch your skin. And I'm like, I can't believe how silky it feels. No, not sticky, how many things you put on sometimes at night and you wake up and your face is sticky. Mm-hmm. And I just, it was so silky. I just couldn't get over it. And I think, again, just gets better and better.
Yeah. And this 3rd step, again, is going to continue to work on moisture depletion. It's going to continue to work on your face for hours after you put it on. You're going to see, better skin tone with this, luminosity with this. Your skin probably won't be as oily because it's going to get that moisture balance that it needs. It's like you're going to be feeding the skin, for hours throughout the day. And I use 2 pumps of this in the morning and 2 pumps of it at night. And if I work down on my neck, I mean, I will say I cheat a little bit. Sometimes I have to just put a 3rd little pump on there. If I feel like I've missed something, like or missed here or around my neck or whatever. But you just don't want it. You don't want to just lather it on. But, if you work in sections and you're smoothing it out enough to where it's getting over the areas it needs to, it should just feel really clean and light, and you actually start to feel almost like you have circulation in your face. It kind of tingles and I don't know, you just feel it. Yeah. You feel what the product's doing to it.
Well, and let me just say this, at this price point, I'll put on 5 pumps if I want to. Because compared to other things that are out there, I mean, I just purchased one thing the other day, and for just one thing, it was $125. I'm like, are you kidding me? And, we'll talk about our free program in a minute too. So I think more importantly, it's about getting to what your comfort level is and what's working best for you.
Yeah. And so I think we've covered a lot of the questions, Elaine.
Let me go over a couple things, Gloria, too. So just so everybody's really clear, all right? Yes, you can use the peel with makeup, but ideally it's better to use a gentle cleanser first, and then use your peel. let it dry, you know. So, okay, so after your peel, rinse your face, okay? Don't go to step 2 without rinsing that face. Don't use a wipe. Don't use one of those wipes. You don't want to get the ingredients in the wipes involved into what you've started with your peel. So
washcloth. Can you just use
yep,
a washcloth?
Yep, with water, you know, with water. Sometimes I think people have gotten so comfortable with those wipes to take off their makeup and everything. And so, so then after your peel, let your skin dry. Then step 2, then let that dry. Then step 3, then let that dry. And then put an SPF on if your foundation does not have it in it. If it does, then you don't need the SPF. Then put your makeup on and go your way. At night, take off your makeup with a gentle cleanser and put your steps 3 and or 2 and 3 if you're doing a nighttime version of 2 and 3. Okay, so don't put your steps 2 and 3 on over your makeup that you've worn all day long. Okay, this is about absorption, so be aware of that. They're in the Let's Face It room that you're in right now. If you go to the top of the page, there are announcements. And there's a PDF in there that talks to you about exactly what Gloria just went over, these 3 steps and how to apply them. And there's also a video up there about how to apply, right, the 3 steps. And so when you're inviting new people, just tag them in that information so they know how to get started. What else, Gloria? I've got a couple more questions here.
Yeah, there's 2 other things that people have asked about. You know, they've asked if we're going to be able to, if people will be able to buy this product separately, and if we are going to have samples. Those are 2 things I get asked all the time. And Jason Camper said that yes, you will be able to buy the products separately, but in the beginning, they wanted to make sure before this product got out there all in the marketplace that people used it correctly so that, you know, we could really show the world what this product has the potential to do, because we know people, they're going to shortcut things. They're going to use 1 step or maybe 2 of the 3 steps and say, oh, well, it didn't work for me, you know. So the reason they're selling it in kits is so that we use it correctly, and given 2 or 3 months down the road, when we clearly can show the world what Thrive Skin can do, then they'll open it up to where we can buy things separately.
Exactly. So just be patient and go along with us here so that you can help to build the foundation of what Thrive Skin is going to be. How long will it last? Well, generally it's a 30-day supply. For some people, it might be a little longer. For others, it might be a little less. It just depends, like what Gloria talked about, how much you're using. Water, if you want it to work to the best of its ability, please hydrate yourself. Half your body weight in ounces is what you should be drinking on a daily basis. So if you're really wanting this process to move along, water is key to everything. Gloria, a couple other things. Go ahead.
People have asked about samples, and you know, we've been such a huge sampling company. I mean, I just feel certain at some point, you know, it could be 3 to 4 months or longer down the road. I don't know, but I can't imagine them not, you know, having this packaged in sample packages at some point. I personally have not done any sampling with this yet. I have introduced it to a few people. I've done some demonstrations on people, and I've sent them home with a little bit of product to use for a few days while they're waiting for their product to arrive. But you know, the company probably will come out with samples. But in the meantime, you know, if you want someone to go home with a few days of product while they're waiting for their product to arrive, you know, I bought some little 5 milliliter containers off of Amazon, and you know, so.
And I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I don't like samples. And from a business standpoint, I think about all those poor people that I've taken samples from over the years, and they just end up in my drawer. And so at the price point that we are at, which let's talk about that because that's one of the questions. You are just not going to get a better product at this price point. You know, it's $150 and it's effective. And I think that's the, you know, from what we've seen from these before and after pictures, that's why sampling does seem kind of appealing. But what if somebody doesn't notice anything? You know, maybe they needed 5 or 6 days. Maybe they needed a full 2 weeks. I mean, everybody's a little different. So again, be judicious if you're using sampling, even from your own product, because people are quick to take a sample of your product.
Yeah, I actually would probably not give them a sample unless I had done a demo on their face so that I make sure that it's applied correctly and that, I mean, because I feel like they will feel something. They're going to feel their skin changing. They're going to feel a difference in the way their face feels, the way their makeup goes on, if it's applied correctly. So if they are excited and they're ready to order, I don't mind, you know.
I love what you just said about when they place their order, and if I can send them home with some to continue, that's a fantastic sampling step.
Yeah. Sort of. And I mean, and I can see in the future, because we have so many peel and we call them peel and reveal parties, but we're seeing so many of these boutiques and parties going on that I can literally see having some of these kits on hand. And when someone orders, you know, go ahead and give them their kit right then, and they can order and have their kit delivered back to you.
Yes,
you know, you may want to have a couple of kits on hand. I
think that's a brilliant idea. And especially when you are doing these events, like I did one at a salon the other night, or if you're doing home events or whatever, if you've got something right there for them to walk away with, you have just skyrocketed the chance of them making a purchase.
Oh, absolutely.
One of our
not going to want to be without this, and you know, the price is exceptional, and you know, we have so many other ways for people to get this product at either a discount or even free, and I know you'll cover that in just a minute. But I would just want to make one statement. You know, I mean, I have personally spent up to $400 for 3 products that were supposed to do what this did, but didn't perform as well as this. I mean, I had one hydrating and moisturizing cream that cost $190 that came from a doctor's office. So, I mean, if you buy an advanced professional skincare from, you know, a medical office, I mean, you could pay 3 times more and not get the results that I'm seeing with this. I mean, I don't think you can find any better product than this.
No. One of our comments that's coming across from one of our members who has worked in skincare before made a really good point. You know, the reason this is packaged in glass, and it could be for a reason. So if it's in plastic, we just don't know how that plastic will break down the product too. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as well when we're giving out the samples. Okay, so we talked about, let's talk real quickly. Let me just, for those of you that might be wondering, ThriveSkin is non-GMO, it is vegan, it is cruelty-free, it is plant-based, it is organic, it has not been tested on animals, it is sulfate-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free, and gluten-free. So that's for those of you that might be worried about that.
Someone asked too, how long we kind of covered this? How long will this keep you looking good? Well, you're just going to look better and better the longer you use it.
Exactly.
I mean, and I just encourage people to take those before photos before you do your first application, and just track it, because sometimes the changes are subtle to you. But I mean, I've been shocked when I've gone back and taken my after pictures and then put them side by side. I'm like, wait a minute, that is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. We had actually one of our estheticians who is now a ThriveSkin member. She had a gal who was like, oh, I don't think this is working. And fortunately, because the esthetician has worked on her for so long, she had a good before picture. And she said, had she not had that comparison, because the lady didn't take that picture. So you just never know. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's really important when you are starting somebody new. please encourage them to take that before picture, ideally with no makeup. And if they want one with makeup, that's fine too, but try to do one without makeup, in the same location, in the same time of day, and ideally in the same color palette. So if they've got a white shirt, a black shirt, or something that's solid would be best. And for fun, if you want to do it, you know, on day 1 and day 2, that's great. But ideally, just do it once a week, same time, same place, you know, and do that for the first, really, I think the first 8 weeks, you know, the first 60 days, once a week. And
if they want to get their product for free, Elaine, how do they do that?
Absolutely. That's one of the coolest things about it. So for those of you that are working with people who have never taken note of their skincare, meaning that they've not spent money on skincare too much before, price may be an issue for them. And yes, you can encourage them to get started and spend the $150. And let me say this, there are always promotions going on. In fact, right now, today only, I think it ends today, Gloria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of you, brand new or existing, can actually buy $100 in credits for $75. Okay, so that means you can turn around and purchase skin for $125 instead of $150. So right there, you've just saved $25. But that does end today. So once that person gets started, though, you say to them, listen, if you love this and you have some friends that you think would benefit from this, number one, add them to this room and let these pictures do the work for you. And number two, once you have 2 people that make a purchase, the next month your product is free. And let me tell you how that works. So let's say that you have 2 customers on auto ship, and we want them on auto ship because it saves them 20%. Normally this retails for $185. On auto ship, it's $150. So when you have 2 customers on auto ship, let's say we're in May, right, Gloria? Mm-hmm. So you have 2 customers this month who place an order. On June 2nd, you're going to have $150 in credits in your account, and you now can order your ThriveSkin. So it's a pretty cool deal.
And it is, and the auto ship is so manageable because they can control the date that they want that product shipped. They can pause it, they can push the date back. So you have full control over your auto ship because you'll have your own free account, you know, where you can set that up and manage that yourself. So you're not bound by anything.
So many people are hesitant about auto ship. I mean, you know, we all have been at some point in time because you kind of get stuck on it. Yeah. You didn't realize it. But that is the best thing about this. You don't have to have a 3-month commitment. You don't even have to have a certain dollar commitment. I mean, it's you are in charge. I'm going to run into our room here and see if we have any other questions that have been posted since we got on. Real quick here. We're getting a lot of comments.
I was just looking over my notes here. I think we pretty much covered everything I had written down.
Yeah, it's only popping up a certain amount of comments. So guys, if you have a question that we did not address,
let me look over here on my computer really quickly and see.
Yep. Put it in the comments, and we'll track the comments and go back and address anything. Keep in mind that if you want to take advantage of that credit promo, it does end today. So again, that's $100 in credits, and you pay $75. So that is really great. If any of you are talking to your friends about getting started, this would be a great way for them to get started as well.
Yeah, and that's really crazy. It won't let me see all the comments either. I'm not sure.
Oh, no. And this is being recorded. It'll be live in this room, but we're also going to upload it to YouTube as well. And I think that's probably it. Gosh, I think we've covered.
And this is for all skin types too.
Oh,
so
yes.
I mean, they did do a lot of testing on this with this product on all skin types, and they literally had found no skin type that couldn't use it. I mean, it's just amazing at how clean this product is, and it's giving your skin what is nutrition for the skin.
Totally, totally. I mean, that is it. And
like you said, you mentioned all the things. It's such a clean product. And you're going to feel that on your face. So we'll be coming back in here and doing,
yes,
you know, more things like this, because we're still learning about the product. But and Elaine, maybe too, I might, you know, I put Jason Camper's presentation from the conference on YouTube. I could put that in the announcements as well, because I think he covers everything in full detail. And then you can really have respect for what this company has done in the formulation of this product, and how they just go so far, to me, out of the range of what most companies do.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
I mean, we knew, I mean, what Gloria and I have been with the company for now, almost 5 years for me. Are you a little over 5 years for you?
5.5. Yeah, 5.5.
Yeah. And they just, like you said early on, they don't disappoint. They over deliver, they under promise. I mean, they just don't disappoint. And yet I think we just were not prepared for how incredible this was going to be. So no, we weren't. And the cool thing is, you know, this is a line that will continue to grow. So for any of you that want to know more about how to get involved in what we do from the promoting side of it, I know that the promoter that added you into this room will be glad to talk to you about it. If for some reason you can't get a hold of them, just reach out to one of us and we'll direct you and help get your questions answered too. So Gloria, thanks for hopping on today. And we will do this. This is fun. And maybe we'll do some giveaways next time too.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.